beginning, darkness covered the earth. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. The true light, which gives light to everyone, came into the world. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. It is a light for the lost, the searching and the seeking. A light for the darkest valley. A light to drive out fear, even in the shadow of death. When we believe in the light, we become children of the light. It shines in us, through us. If we walk in the light, if we let it shine before others, we become a city on a hill, the light of the world. When we let His word light our path, others will follow. We become a beacon of hope to a world in darkness. Our lives reflect the glory of His resurrection. He makes us a light for the nations, so His salvation may reach to the end of the earth. Let there be light. For at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light.
Grace, mercy, and peace be to you from God our Father and our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Light is pretty amazing, isn't it? Have you ever just thought about light? Just like light itself. I mean, physicists think about light a lot, but most of us just sort of take it for granted. It's just kind of there. You wake up in the morning. Well, not this morning. It was really dark this morning. But most mornings you wake up and there's, hey, it's light outside. Or you flip on a switch and there you have light. And it's kind of an interesting thing where what we do with light, the things that we need for there to be light for. And I've always thought it was interesting whenever we think about where do you put the light? Obviously we put light in a high place. But there are situations where the light is actually in a low place. Actually, some of my favorite situations are times when the light is in a low place. For instance, a campfire, right? You put your campfire, you don't put a campfire up high someplace, right? It's down low. And you make this nice big campfire, and there's this light. It's not up high, it's down low. And it's flickering. And the people stand around, and then there's those shadows that are cast, dark shadows that are cast. But there's something to that light that is low. Or maybe a lantern. If you've ever gone camping, you've got a lantern kind of sitting on a table or something. It's really bright next to it, but it casts these long shadows. And it's really not where the light is supposed to be. God made light to be up high. Why? Because that's where He made the sun. He made the sun, right? I mean, this is the light that lights our world. He made the light to go up and over the sky and back down. And most of the year, that's a great thing because we've got the light, it comes up, it goes way up high in the sky, it warms everything, and then we get to winter. And that sun doesn't go up as high as it used to. Now it's just kind of going around like that. And I don't know, maybe some people here, have you heard of seasonal affective disorder? There might be even some people here who are like, yep, I'm going through that right now. It is December and I am not happy. Seasonal affective disorder, it's where you actually have like a depression that comes on because of the season. And often it's during winter. You have this seasonal affective disorder. And you know what the number one treatment for seasonal affective disorder is? Light. It's the weirdest thing. Like I think about, you're going to take a pill. Or is there a surgery for that or something? No, of course not. No, you sit in front of a big screen of ultraviolet light. And it just shines on you with like little funny looking glasses. And then your mood gets better. And I just think like, How crazy is that? You treat a disorder like that by just shining light on yourself. Maybe God knew what he was doing when he said, "Let there be light." And what a great analogy for us, right? Just like the video we just saw. What a great analogy for us to see that Jesus is the light of the world. That he shines. And that it's not just a convenience that we have this light. It's not just that things are going to go better for us than it would otherwise to have this light. We need this light. If we don't get enough of this light, then things don't go well for us. In fact, we can't truly live without this light. Jesus came to shine his light into the darkness. And of course, that's what this season is about. That's what this whole series is about, right? Jesus shining his light. Jesus coming into this world and showing us what he intended for this world from the very beginning. A world where everyone truly would love one another and care for one another. In truth, the way God designed it, not the way we want it, but the way God designed it. And that kind of a world would just be present in the midst of the darkness. That's what his kingdom is. His kingdom is a kingdom of light where enough of us come together in one place at one time and for one purpose, that together we shine a light that is brighter than any one of us. And that Jesus shines through that. That we have a message of the forgiveness of sins. That we have Jesus who actually died on a cross for us and rose from the dead. That light of truth, that light of eternity, living eternally, can be shown into our world. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about shining that light into the darkness. And we have this wonderful passage from Matthew chapter 5. I just love the analogies that Jesus uses here for us as light. Because he says that we are the light of the world. And I know that for some of us, mostly those of us who are really dyed-in-the-wool kind of Lutheran types, that really, we kind of struggle with that. Because it's like, I am a sinner. I am a sinner in need of the grace of God. There's just no way I can shine. Of course, yes. That's how bright the light is. That the light of Christ can come into us and through us to others. So Jesus says that we are the ones who will shine. We are the ones who shine into this world, not with our own light. We'll talk about that next week. No, but with the light of Jesus. We don't have any light, not into ourselves. We can shine with his light. And then he uses two analogies for this. You are a city on a hill. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. And I'm trying to think of like an analogy for that. And the best analogy I can come up with is if you're ever driving at night and it's cloudy and you're driving up to a town or by a town and you can see the glow in the clouds. You know there's a town there. Or like if you're coming up on a great big city, you can just see the flood of lights coming as you drive into town. For the people there, Jerusalem was a city on a hill. It's still a city on a hill. And if you were traveling at night, you could see the light of that hill, the light of the city, for miles around. You can't hide it. It's just there to be seen. Jesus also says that you don't light a lamp and put it under a bowl, right? That's kind of a hide it under a bushel. No, I'm going to let it shine. All right, that's where we get that. You don't put it under a bowl, right? You don't just hold it here. You put it up on a stand. You put it high in the room so that everybody can enjoy the light that is shown there. We are instructed by Jesus to be a light that ends up in a high place that other people can see, and that people can be blessed by the light that we shine. Now there's some things that are really important things that we think about here. That when we shine this light, we are not doing it for our own benefit. Now notice in that passage too, right after it talks about putting the light on a stand and shining over the room, he says this, so let your light shine before other people so that they might see the good and give praise to your Father in heaven. Now it's that last little part that's so important. We don't shine in other people's lives so that they can see us. We don't go and do these really good things for other people to say, hey, look at me, I'm awesome. Did you see me shine? That was shining right there. It was bright too. Everywhere. Everyone sees it shining. It was me. We don't do that. In fact, we don't really want them to see us. That's not the point. The point is not for them to see us. The point is for them to see Jesus through us. And so at the end of the day, when we do the good, they come and they say, wow, you know what? God is awesome. That's what we want. God is awesome. God is amazing. Did you see what God did? I mean, it's even better if they're like, yeah, like, who was that person? It doesn't even matter, like, who the person is. It doesn't matter. Just that we can have God flow through us, that the light can shine through us. That's at the end of the day, that's what matters. And we do that in various ways, right? We do that by loving people. We do that by telling people the truth, even though it's hard to tell them the truth sometimes. We do that through being a sacrifice for them. Like actually like giving of ourselves, maybe even hurting, even if it hurts, giving of ourselves for the sake of other people that they might see Jesus. Forgiving other people the way God has forgiven us. It's things like that, situations like that. And maybe it's just people who really, really need help and you're just going to do it. You're just going to step up. Whatever that thing is. But we talked about this earlier today when we were talking about our fears of what happens in the light. Because this is actually a really important point. When you're shining the light of Jesus into people's lives, chances are you're shining it into some darkness. And guess what likes to hide in the darkness? Sin. Sin loves to hide in the darkness. You know that, because we all have our own shadows, right? We all have the shadows in our own lives that we hide our little bits of darkness, right? That's what we were talking about a couple weeks ago. You got to pull your light out of storage. Yep, lives right there in the darkness. But when we shine the light of Jesus, what it will expose things that are hiding. And I think sometimes it's difficult for us to deal with that, especially if it's something else that we're dealing with, something else that we're struggling with. We got to be prepared for that the light is intended to shine into those places. We need to shine our light into those difficult places. And who knows what it's going to expose, right? Who knows what's going to happen. But here's what happens when the light shines. When you love somebody unconditionally, when you are willing to sacrifice for them, when they know that you are there for them no matter what, and that it's really not about you, guess what starts coming out? The pain. People find there's someone they can trust. Wow, in this crazy world where everybody's in it for themselves, here's somebody who's here for me? You mean, and you're not going to judge me? You're not going to make me some sort of castaway? Like, you're just going to say, like, you're actually going to be there for me? Yeah, maybe I will talk to you. Maybe I will open up my heart to you. And guess what happens? They do. The heart opens up. And maybe the stuff there isn't too pretty. But guess what? The light shines in the darkness. And the darkness does not overcome it. Which means that if God can forgive your sins, whatever they are, He can forgive theirs too. And that's the beautiful thing. You can bring them Jesus. Speak Jesus into their hurt. Speak Jesus into their darkness. Speak Jesus into their guilt and their pain. And what you'll find is that he ends up doing the work. He ends up giving them the gift that you can't give them, the forgiveness of all of their sins. So we got to put ourselves into a position to be able to do this. And part of it is in our hearts, right? Part of it is just a change in our hearts that just says, okay, God, I'm ready for you to let me shine my light where and when you please. Okay, so that means part of it is just situational. Just like whatever you're doing, wherever you are, there are going to be opportunities. Just like we saw with Sarah in our water life video, right? Like, okay, that was random, but guess what? Bam, there's your chance. Be ready. That's what our passage from Ephesians was talking about. Be ready in every opportunity to shine that light into the darkness. But you know what? Part of it too is hanging them up. We don't leave the Christmas lights on the floor. We put them into a position to shine. And you hang them on something. Right? The sun can kind of just hang up there in the air. Doesn't seem like anything's holding it up there, right? But our Christmas lights need something to hang on. And I think that we can think about it that way, that we hang our Christmas light on something. So let's just say you're a student. Guess what? You can hang your Christmas light in your class. You can hang your Christmas light in your dorm room. You can hang your Christmas light. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put yourself into a position in your daily life where you can shine. All right? And you might not have anybody there, or you might have a flood of people there. Who knows? Maybe it's at work. Shine your Christmas light at work. And just put yourself in a position. I'm going to hang my Christmas light here in my cubicle. That's just what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be a light here. I'm going to love people, and I'm going to care for them, and I'm going to shine the light of Jesus where I am. You know, maybe you are at home with children all day. What a fantastic place to shine your light. Right? Every day, shining your light into the lives of those little ones so they can also know Jesus and shine the light. You just hang your Christmas light right there and shine. Whatever situation it is, and I can come up with a bunch of them, right? But I would say also look for the opportunities that are there. People who are hurting, people who are struggling, people who feel the guilt and the weight and the pain of life, and find ways to hang your Christmas light there. That's where Jesus directs us. He wants us to hang our light in the place where nobody else will go. The place, the people that everybody else is rejecting. Refugees. Now we are a church that has refugees as a part of our church, and we house a refugee church right here. Okay? Refugees. Perfect opportunity, right? People who have left their homeland because of war or famine or who knows what. We just love them. We just hang our light right there and say we love you, no matter what. Whatever that might be. But you see, we can hang it on something. We can put ourselves into a position to hang that Christmas light and then shine. And then let Jesus do the rest. All right? This is the beautiful opportunity we have. Not just during this season, but year-round. To shine the light of Jesus. And by God's grace, that light shines, and then they can shine the light of Jesus as well. Amen.